think you're doing?
I just ran into an acquaintance of yours.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about your boyfriend who seems to think I'm pushing in on his territory.
I haven't got any boyfriend.
Are you sure of that?
I'm positive. Well, I've only been here for a month.
That's what I thought.
Whoever it was must have been drunk or something.
Oh, no, nobody was drunk. They were just using you to give me a little message.
You must be imagining things.
Now listen, Sally, I'm not imagining my ribs being kicked in. This town wants me out. Why?
Listen, somebody beats you up, that's your business.
The magic word is Mendoza, the three brothers who just rode in and rode out.
You heard it.
Where are they?
I don't know.
You're lying.
No. Listen to me, please. You've been warned. Now leave it alone. If you don't, you're liable to wind up dead.
And that's the only thing that's going to stop me from asking questions.
Then ask somebody else.
I'm asking you.
No, leave me out of it. Get out of
I'm
here.
mad enough and I heard enough to keep you up all night if I have to. No, I want answers.
The Mendoza brothers are dead.
What are you talking about?
They were lynched. They killed a woman. They raped her and they killed her.
Was there a trial?
No.
Where was the sheriff?
He was there, watching with the rest of us.
Didn't work, Tom.
What are you talking about, Jared?
I'm talking about the three you sent to rough me up. It only made me more curious. And now I've got the answer.
Well, 2 days ago, George and Alicia were in their buggy about 10 miles out of town. 3 of them pulled the buggy off the road and they started...
They made her dance with them. Then when they started putting their hands on her, I went crazy. They knocked me out. When I came to, Alicia was gone. So was the buggy. There were bloodstains on the ground.
And I put a posse together and went out right away. But I couldn't find anything. Then the next day, the 3 of them rode into town. They checked into the hotel to wait for you. I guess they never figured the one man who could identify them lived here. Then everybody went sort of crazy. They grabbed a rope and... Well, short of shooting every man in town, I couldn't stop it, Jared.
I'd like to read you, too, a letter that was written by one of the men you hanged. It says, Senor Barkley, we have heard of you and your family for many years in Mexico. The Barkley name is honored and respected, so we are very proud that you have agreed to sell us your land in the beautiful California. We've worked many years to save the money needed. We want to become citizens of your country, to earn the love and respect of your people. Now I ask you, does this letter sound like it could be written by a man who would do this?
They did it. They held me and made me watch. I pleaded with them. I told them to kill me, but please don't hurt her. But they just laughed at me and said one filthy thing after another. Don't blame Tom. If I had it to do over again, I'd have led the lynching myself. If you gentlemen will excuse me, I'll say goodnight.
Jared, you lived by the law all your life, and so have I. I'm sorry this had to happen in my town. I really am. But I'm not going to blame myself too much for it.
The whole thing doesn't make any sense. say it happened about 10 miles out of town?
About that?
I just can't understand why those three would ride in here when they knew Akers could identify them.
Now, what are you getting at?
Oh, I don't know. I just can't understand why they'd kill her and not him. Doesn't add up.
No, killing never does. Especially by those kind.
What kind is that, Tom?
Well, those Mexicans, of course.
Of course.
What do you want?
Is Mr. Akers in?
He's gone. Had to see a client.
The man who kicked the pig?
What?
Never mind, I'll wait.
He may be some time, Mr. Barkley.
You know me?
Everybody knows you.
So it would seem.
Mr. Barkley, they killed Mrs. Akers in cold blood and for no reason, except to satisfy their lust. They deserved to be hanged.
They deserved a fair trial.
You surely don't believe those three were innocent. Mr. Akers recognized them plain as day.
Yes, so he says. It's just that there are a couple of little things I don't quite understand.
Mr. Barkley, why don't you go away? Why don't you leave Mr. Akers alone? Hasn't he gone through enough in the last 7 years?
The last 7 years?
I didn't mean that. I meant that the poor man has had a terrible tragedy and people shouldn't be poking their noses in at such a time.
How long were the Akers married? Seems to me it was about 7 years, wasn't it? How'd they get along all that time? I mean, was there any little trouble between them?
I won't answer that.
I think you already have. Maybe I had better come back at another time. As you say, it might be a long wait.
What's wrong?
Last night I was rereading this letter, Tom.
Oh, now look, Jared. Now, what's the point in going over it again?
You've never heard the second page.
Meaning what?
Does Akers speak Spanish?
No.
But he claimed all three Mexicans spoke to him, right?
Yes.
All right. Now, this letter was written by the oldest Mendoza brother. At the end of it, he apologizes for the fact that he was the only one who could speak or write English.
One of them did all the talking. Other two just jabbered away in Spanish. I just figured it's because they were scared or excited.
Or they couldn't speak English.
Look, Jared, now why would Akers identify them if they weren't the three who did it?
I don't know. Possible he made a mistake. It's also possible there never were any Mexicans.
Are you suggesting that Akers killed Alicia himself?
Kind of sounds that way, doesn't it?
Oh, Jared, you're really on the wrong track. Oh, he was crazy about her. Why, he showed her off all the time.
I just had a talk with his housekeeper. She gave me the definite impression that there was trouble between them.
Oh, she's an old busybody. Why, she's been jealous of Alicia ever since the day Akers brought her home. You can't put any store in her. And as for Akers saying that all three of them spoke English, well, that's an understandable mistake. He was in a state of shock when it happened.
All I'm asking you to do is consider the possibility
That I hung 3 innocent men? Not likely, Jared. Not likely at all.
You afraid to dig a little deeper?
Now, how would I do that?
Let's find Alicia's body.
I looked for it.
Then let's look again.
Now, what'll that prove?
I don't know. But if she was assaulted before she was murdered, that'll show. And if she was just plain murdered, that'll show too. You willing to face up to the truth?
But as far as I'm concerned, I know the truth. But if you need proof...
I do, Tom. And down in your guts, you need it too.
Left Fork goes to Rock Creek. That's where Akers and his wife were supposed to be coming from.
Uh-huh. You go up there with a posse?
I covered the whole area. Didn't find anything.
You know, Tom, a fellow who might have murdered his wife isn't going to be likely to want the law to find her body, is he?
Meaning he could have misdirected us.
Meaning we better try this way.
What's the matter? That looks like Akers' buggy. Hello there. Where'd you get this buggy?
Who's asking?
Sheriff Hayes, Baker City.
Sheriff, huh? Too bad you didn't come nosing around when the bargaining was going on.
What bargaining?
3 Mexicans 2 days ago said they wanted to trade that buggy.
3 Mexicans?
That's what I said,
Just 2 days ago with this buggy.
which I didn't want.
These Mexicans. What'd they look like?
Like Mexicans.
I mean, would you be able to recognize them if you saw them again?
I'd sure recognize one of them, sitting there on that Palomino with one of them fancy silver saddles. I won't forget that one.
What kind of supplies were they after?
Oh, trail supplies, food, blankets, stuff I couldn't spare.
I take it then you weren't exactly in favor of the trade.
That's exactly what I mean. But this grinning Mexican had a gun, so there wasn't nothing I could do. You here to get my stuff back?
Now, which way'd they go when they left?
South.
Thanks for your help.
You can thank me by bringing my stuff back. I sure don't need that buggy.
Jared. They were the ones.
That sounds that way, doesn't it, Tom?
And I hung 3 innocent men. Now, how do I fix it? How do I live with a thing like that?
They can't be far. We just get them, that's all.
What's inside me? What I did. Catching them won't change that.
No, it won't. But it's a start.